Tonight we report on a crash in Coulee City that killed 2 teenagers, and the Moses Lake community welcomes back the high school wrestling team. What's happening in sports, Bob?
Thanks, Alan. Moses Lake brings home its first team wrestling title in over a decade, and the Moses Lake girls basketball team repeats as district champion. Let's take a peek at our Weather Center forecast.
Hello everyone, I'm Chaslyn Rodriguez. No precipitation is expected with mostly clear skies and temperatures above the normal. Now let's see how long that lasts for our area. I'll have all the details for you in just a bit.
I'm Alan Troop, and we have all this and much more on iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
Two teenagers died and another was seriously injured in a crash on State Route 2 in Coulee City. Austin Fry, a 17-year-old Heartline resident, was driving a 1994 Honda Civic west on SR2 Friday night when he reportedly lost control of the car and drove off the road to the right. The car struck a light pole and came to a stop at the entrance of Coulee City Park. According to the Washington State Patrol, Fry and one of his passengers, Pedro Huitron, an 18-year-old Lind resident, died in the crash. A second passenger, a 16-year-old Lynn male, was injured and taken by MedStar to Harborview Medical Center in Seattle. The State Patrol determined speeding was likely a factor in the crash, and the investigation continues. Moses Lake High School wrestlers returned home Sunday night as state champions and were greeted with an outpouring of community support. Reporter Joe Utter has the story.
Moses Lake High School wrestlers returned home from Tacoma Sunday night as 4A state champions for the first time in 15 years. The team was greeted by nearly 200 people at St. Caillou Square to celebrate the team's win at the MAC Classic Friday and Saturday at the Tacoma Dome, as well as individual state champions Trey Long and Hudson Masseth. Assistant coach Ariel Garza said the hard work throughout the year paid off and is hoping to keep the trophy in Moses Lake for years to come.
These kids deserve this. They work hard, they work out tremendously, and sometimes I don't know if we praise them enough, but this is amazing. For what you guys are doing right now for these kids is making it all worth it, and we're wondering why we're running and why we're doing stairs and why we're doing more push-ups. Well, it's for this right here. And it's for all you guys out there and the support you give us. So thank you, and thank all of these guys and all the other ones out here that help out with this program. And God willing, this thing will stay in Titletown forever.
It was an emotional return for head coach Jaime Garza, a former state champ himself. Garza took a moment to thank his team and the community support.
Thank you guys for showing up. The support is unmatched, and I am privileged to be the coach of these guys, coaching this team. It's been fantastic. They went out there and displayed a great amount of guts, courage, and I'm pleased with them. I can't thank you guys. I can't thank the coaching staff. They are just as much as involved as these kids were, and I'm so thankful for all the efforts that you guys came out and dedicated your time to us, to these kids, and it means a lot to them. I know it's meant a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This is awesome.
This is Joe Utter reporting for iFIBER 1 News.
One person was injured in a collision with an ambulance Saturday morning on State Route 17 in Moses Lake. Jesse Bulliard, a 33-year-old Coulee City man, was driving an ambulance with the emergency lights south on SR-17 when he slowed for traffic at East Broadway Avenue. Griselda Farias, a 36-year-old Auburn woman, was taking a left turn onto the highway in a 2005 Frontier pickup truck from Broadway Avenue. According to the Washington State Patrol, the ambulance and pickup collided at the intersection. Both Farias and Bulliard were not injured in the collision. Farias' passenger, Candy Farias, a 42-year-old Moses Lake woman, was taken to Samaritan Hospital for her injuries. And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at crimetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
Short break, and we'll be right back.